Just like that, we've come to the end of 2025. What a year this was. The year tried our patience, our faith, and our skills in ways we never thought possible, but we survived and thrived. We learned to take the punches and still come back swinging. 2025 was the year that taught us resilience. 2023, we were in denial. 2024, the shock of our new reality hit. And 2025, we built resilience. What a people we are, Nigerians. Congratulations to us all. Tonight, as we say goodbye to 2025, we take a look back at some of the conversations we had on Dateline Abuja and the pivotal moments that shaped our year in the nation's capital. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with our wrap-up of major stories this week from the nation's seat of power.
The Nigerian government says President Bola Tinubu gave the go-ahead for the U.S. strikes against terrorists in the country's northwestern region. Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga said this on Friday, hours after the U.S. Department of War and President Donald Trump announced the North American nation had conducted strikes against the terrorists. Earlier, United States President Donald Trump had said U.S. forces conducted powerful and deadly strikes against Islamic State militants in northwestern Nigeria on Thursday after he warned the group to stop killing Christians in the country. The Department of Defense said multiple ISIS terrorists were killed in an attack conducted at the request of Nigerian authorities, but few details were provided. The strike hit targets on Christmas Day, according to Donald Trump. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated a committee on strategy, conflict resolution and mobilization to resolve conflicts within the All Progressives Congress as it approaches the 2027 general elections. Present at the inauguration were members of the committee, which comprised governors of the party, members of the Federal Executive Council and other notable stakeholders, with the governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni, as chairman and Muiz Banire, former legal advisor of the APC, as member and secretary. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos, where he will spend the end of the year holidays and attend some engagements. Upon arriving at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, the president was received by a delegation made up of the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, the governor of Yobe, Mai Mala Buni, and others. The president has spent the day in Borno State, where he commissioned some projects undertaken by Governor Babagana Zulum and the federal government. He also attended the wedding ceremony of Sadiq Sharif, son of the former governor of the state, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, and his heartthrob, Hadiza Kamsalem. The president also stopped in Bauchi State to condole with the government of Bauchi State and the family of Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi, the late renowned Muslim cleric and leader of the Tijaniya Muslim Brotherhood. President Bola Tinubu has encouraged everyone to celebrate the forthcoming Eyo Festival in peace, harmony and love. The president was speaking when he received the delegation of the Eyo chieftains and entourage led by the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who had come to pay him homage at his residence in Lagos. The president, who was with his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, also prayed that Nigerians will enjoy the Christmas holiday in peace and joy.
For the celebration of Eyo Carnival in peace, harmony, love, brotherhood and sisterhood. We continue to pray to God Almighty. The coming Christmas will be a joyous one for every one of us.
Amen.
The coming holidays will not be a disaster for Nigeria.
Amen.
Welcome back. 2025 started with raids on scrap metal markets in Abuja. And Dr. Peter Olumuji, Secretary, FCT Command and Control Center, spoke with us on permanent solutions to scavenging and infrastructure vandalism in Abuja.
Getting the order from the Commissioner of Police, FCT, who is the chairman of the FCT security team. And we had to raid those Panteka markets, which we suspected these vandalized items, both the manhole, the street lights, the solar panels that are used for street lights are kept. And we raided the Kabusa Panteka market, we raided the Mabuchi Panteka market, and also some other Panteka markets. And this led to some good success stories for us, where we were able to apprehend about 50 suspects and recover some of these stolen manholes and even the streetlight panels and the stands too. There
was a rumor that some of these scrap metal, these stolen and vandalized infrastructure, are being sold to particular steel companies in the FCT. Is this true?
Yes, there's that rumor because there's no way people with a evil intention will go and remove these manholes or these steels and they just keep it in their own room. It's because there's a ready market for it. And that's why we also went after the receiver of these stolen items.
Who was the receiver?
Well, I know the police will give more details about that because investigation is on.
Is it possible that we're looking at it the wrong way? We're charging them for vandalism as opposed to charging them for manslaughter in some cases? Because there are people who have died. There was an accident in December. There are people who have also sustained terrible injuries.
Even permanent disability.
Permanent disability, yes. from the crimes that they've committed.
Well, I feel the FCT Legal Secretariat is also reviewing these charges also to see how it could be done and we could get more maximum sentencing on these people because you will not present to court what is not in the law.
The FCT authorities read the Riot Act to errant developers demolishing houses on floodplains. The 2025 floods and capabilities of agencies like FEMA, now degraded to a department of handling these looming disasters, was our focus on this episode with Abbas Idris, the president of Risk Managers Association of Nigeria and Director General Emeritus of the FCT Emergency Management Agency.
FCT is a pace setter. And it's supposed to be leading so that others can follow. And in a situation whereby you are progressing, going higher, and then you are now degraded, the morals of the staff will go down. And then also, the risk is increasing in the FCT because the population is increasing. And as the population increases without commensurate increase in the infrastructural development, definitely it's going to affect the city in terms of disaster. No. Yes, you see, FCT is an emergency city. So if you take one aspect of the development and say you are working, I don't think that is what is expected of the FCT. You have to work side by side as you are studying also the composition and the people that are settling in the FCT. We all agree that the people in the FCT are not supposed to be in the FCT at this moment because the development has not reached a stage whereby it can accommodate such people in terms of amenities, social development, and what have you. So in this regard, if you construct roads, you are only taking 0.001 servicing the people of the FCT because how many people get cars that can fly the roads? And then, but if you go ahead and look at the devastating effect of flooding alone in the FCT that will affect a community, that will give them diarrhea, will give them different kinds of epidemics, then you will now know that you have a lot to do in terms of other aspects of development. So, and where are the agencies that are going to do such job? You have to build them up. You have to empower them. You have to give them their wherewithal. You have to give them to encourage the staff, build their capacity, and then they will handle that aspect. So when the most important thing is prevention, you have to prevent flooding from occurring, happening in the FCT. By the time it happens, it's exposing the entire administration. And that is why we are calling that those agencies should be strengthened, not to be downgraded.
FCT authorities sealed up houses owing ground rent in Abuja. It was Abuja residents versus the Abuja master plan. And we asked, should the FCTA wear a more humane face? Our guest on this episode was Lemi Uwegbe, human rights and policy advocate.
If you are owing ground rent for 28 years, in law, there is what is called demonstration of good faith. By paying maybe for 10 years and saying, and entering into an arrangement, an MOU, that I'm going to pay the others in so installment and commit to an undertaking written and signed that you do that. Of course, government itself is not unaware of the times and how hard they are. But we will find it easier if we were paying every year for these things than waiting till it's accumulated.
It's not that expensive,
you know,
is it?
and it's not really that
It's not
expensive.
expensive.
So it's the nature of the people that we are. Let me tell you the truth. As a member of the civil society, you would expect that, you know, people will think that civil society is just about coming and antagonize government's decision and all. Civil society is for the good of the society, for country and people. And if country and people must thrive, then there must be a rule of law. There must be respect to our obligations as citizens and obligations of government to citizenry. And government in this sense has performed its obligation of notifying you that, look, you've gone on for too long. It's not business as usual. Everyone is calling out the Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike. And for me, I think that it is really unfair. For me, for this particular incident, I would say that it gets my plaudit. I would say that it gets my thumb up, because we must have people who understand the law and have the courage to make sure that they drive the process for the law to be enforced. The only thing is that it should be enforced with human face.
The newly launched Operation Sweep in the FCT, the completion of the 19 project commissioning in honor of the president's second-year anniversary in office, and preparations for the upcoming FCT Area Council elections was our focus on this July episode with our guest, Larry Olayinka, the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike.
The job of handing them over to their state will be that of the FCT. Okay. When FCT does that, then whatever happens will be the function of their state.
How the FCT stop them from coming back?
Well, stopping them from coming back is another issue. And that will be addressed properly, because we have also identified how they get to Abuja. We have identified. So it will also get to a level that when we have been able to at least sanitize the city center, the satellite town to some extent, we'll now begin to now say, okay, when you are coming, when we see children in vehicles entering Abuja, we stop them and ask them where they are going.
Those trailers that come with children?
Those trailers.
Have you stopped any recently?
No, we are not there yet.
Okay.
What we are doing now is, because the issue is also that the moment when people know that there is freedom of coming here, they come. But when they know that those who have come have been arrested, then those who want to come will think twice.
So what the backlash you're going to face is the fact that the FCT is not a restricted state, is it?
It's not.
You're allowed to go anywhere.
You are allowed to go. You are allowed to go anywhere. But you are coming to a state. You should have where to stay.
The accusations about the FCT minister being high-handed, acting like an emperor, not ingratiating himself with the people, and not being very grassroots-oriented. And those accusations came from the senator.
That one.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
It came from the senator that represents the FCT. And the response from your office to that, many people felt was a little below the belt.
It should be.
You didn't think it was a little uncouth?
It should even be under the belt. It should not be below the belt, because it is politics. That person that you mentioned, Ireti Kingibe, is running. He wants senatorial ticket for this their new coalition of confusion.
There's no problem with that.
So if
focus on the politics. Now you're going to have personal life.
He also went to the minister's personal life by calling him pro. should you call a minister emperor? You know what an emperor is? You know what an emperor does? So if you call a minister emperor, the ministers will clap for you.
What's the female alternative? The female alternative for an emperor?
Eh?
You have called an empress.
No, that is what...
You could have called her an empress as well. Instead, you went for something else.
What I only said was that she lacked that moral right to even criticize anybody. Because before you can come and tell me that I am not taking care of my children, you should be seen as taking care of your own children.
In August and September, we started speaking to mandate secretaries of the FCT administration on what we called the mandate secretary's mandate, beginning with Dayo Lani, the mandate secretary for women affairs in the FCT. We discussed addressing funding challenges with the Women Affairs FCT Secretariat and opening up of the political space to ensure female representation in elective offices in Abuja. When it comes to women in politics in the FCT, I know that's something you're very passionate about. You even ran for senator.
Yes, I did, and I rocked this city. I should state it, I'm the first woman who have come up with the highest number of votes, second position, and understand, rigged. But even with the rigging, I gave them what they needed to
When you say you were rigged?
Yeah, it's part of
Who
the
rigged you, the
ecosystem.
Labour Party?
How can you say LP rigged me? LP, it was primaries.
Yes.
It was not.
Okay, so it was the primaries.
It was primaries.
Okay.
It wasn't the general elections. And that's...
Are you still going to run for
part of-
senator again?
I know that's a big question that keep being asked, but I think the big assignment right now is to run to do the will of those who put me in my principal position. If at their instruction I'm to do something other, it will come from them. I'm a woman
I don't know
under
where we have this feeling
authority.
from. There's something in the grapevine.
I don't know what
It's been
grapevine that is.
trickling
I don't know
down.
what grapevine that is, because this is the sincere God's truth. Like, I'm a woman under authority, and you can see I'm thoroughly, it's not just about enjoying. Why do you want to run? To make a difference.
Yes.
With the difference you bring. Now, I didn't win this position by election.
You were
I got
appointed.
here by commendation and selection. When it comes to the HB 1349, the House bill, we're looking at reworking the approach to navigating and negotiating political position. Strategy of engagement has to change. And for the women in politics, that is what is happening right now.
With Dr. Adedolakpo Fashawe, Mandate Secretary for Health in the FCT, we talked funding challenges, striking medical workers, and the plans to ensure affordability and access to quality health care in the FCT.
I am very happy to talk about quality. When we came in, the Presidential Task Force on giving people key performance indicators, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the Renewed Hope is very serious about data. And it's amazing to me what this data will do for this nation when we start to use data to make policies. So now, every single MDA, ministry, department, or agency has a performance indicator and milestones that we tick along the line. There's a committee in the President's office that is responsible for this. And what they gave us in FCT health sector was increase the number of people on health insurance by 1,000 a year in the next 4 years, and also build more primary healthcare centers. So at 1,000 a year, I am happy to say that we're in our second and a half, third year, and we have increased by 328,000 people. And why are more people coming to the health insurance scheme? We deliver. Before now, you'll be a health insurance patient, and once you see the doctor, they give you a piece of paper with prescription, go and buy. No, we're on electronic medical records. And once you're a health insurance patient, all the medication written for you must be administered. If it is not available in the hospital, there's something called emergency purchase. And with insurance, I think it's word of mouth that spreads this. Every general hospital, subnational, states that conducts a cesarean section, the federal government refunds that hospital for every money it has spent on cesarean section.
With striking resident doctors in the FCT decrying the deplorable state of healthcare facilities and remunerations, we put the issues raised by them to Honorable Amos Magaji, the chairman of the House Committee on Health.
Generally, the health sector was neglected for quite some time. And if you look at the Abuja Declaration says budget for health should be nothing less than 15%. 15%. So we have deficit in different areas. We are, as a nation, struggling with different things at the same time. Now, if you say, okay, let's concentrate on hospital, light is a problem. Water is a problem. We don't have road network. We are battling with insecurity everywhere. So we have conflicting demands in different sectors of the economy. Yes, health is important. I understand. Health is important. Up to this moment, I'm telling you, our budget has not reached 10%. And the Abuja Declaration was done in Abuja, that nations in Africa should ensure that their budget for health should be at least 15%. Now, some states are actually trying, and their budget for health is going, some are even budgeting, their budget for health is going to probably more than 15%. Some are doing even 17%. Now, it is not just budgeting now. There's also the issue of funding, release, and timely release of the budget so as to carry out the activity of government. Now, in 2022, the budget for health, if divided by the population of Nigeria per capita, every Nigerian was to go home or went home with 2,700. So if it were to divide the budget per capita, what was budgeted in Nigeria around 2022, 2021, 2022, each Nigerian was to go back with 2,700. In the present reality, that cannot even buy anti-malaria.
In October, infrastructure development versus human capital development in the FCT took center stage on this episode with human rights activist Aisha Yusufu.
How do you tell people that you met here? There were people in this Abuja. Let's be real, you understand? Abuja, when they decided to make Abuja the Federal Capital Territory, it's a community that people lived in, their ancestral homes. And so today you're saying to them that, oh no, if you can't live here, you live. How does that even make sense? And then when we say, so you don't have right to a place because you don't have money. Does government have money? Government doesn't have its own money. Its own money comes from the fact that the people have given up of their, sovereignty.
How do you feel about the repatriation of beggars?
So the first thing that I see there in terms of begging, where they say they're taking them, they're rehabilitating them. So that's a good one. What are you doing? You help them to stand on their feet in a way that they no longer have to beg.
Or returning them to their states of origin.
That's a no-no. Because we have a freedom of association. We, as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, every part of the territory of Nigeria is your home. Whatever state I decide to stay in, that's where I'm from. That's where I am. Don't tell me because ABCD, that's not, the Constitution doesn't say that. So for them to take them from Abuja, begin to repatriate them, or which home? What if this is their home? Why are you taking them elsewhere? So I don't think that's a good thing for you to say, oh, you're taking them back home. But, taking them off the streets, helping them to be able to get, to have a source of living, for them not to beg again, that is something that should be done.
After the face-off between the FCT minister and a naval officer went viral, demolitions and land seizures in the FCT was a front-burner issue in November. FCT indigents felt the minister should focus on land grabbing by the military against FCT indigents at Tugamade Ido axis of the FCT, as well as complained that both the FCT minister and the naval officer were arguing over a plot of land that belonged to FCT indigents. Dalhatu Ezekiel, advocate for the rights of FCT indigents, joined us on this episode.
It's a statement of fact that we have this issue in Tungamaje, Idosarki, Noalege, Tungamadage, as is for over a decade. And this issue has been brought to the knowledge of governments and especially the relevant authority that be. While I was in office as Public Complaint Commissioner before leaving, and then Barrister Wiki came in, the doing minister of the FCT, I brought this issue to him to a point that he called for a meeting between the military hierarchy, the Navy were there, the Air Force were there, and the Army. You remember that incident? I was there, the Chief of Jua, Amak Chairman, and that of Wagwalada. And I told him that this thing is looking like a recipe for major crisis because these indigenous people who owns this land as their ancestral land, they have a tie. Kela, let me tell you for free, no human being came from air. We all came from this soil called land, and we all go back to it. So you could see the attachment the human being has with the land.
What happened after that meeting?
And after that meeting, let me even tell, in that meeting, I ensure that the minister gets the facts, which is, do the military have allocation of this land? And he actually saw that they do not have the allocation because the director land was there. He was asked and he said there is no any allocation like that for the military. And he said the military should hold on not to do anything on that land until he gets into the...
That's the land in Tungamaje.
That was the land in Tungamaje. And since then, in 2023 ending, early 2024, since then, we've not had anything from the Honorable Minister. Just last 2 months, the Navy went to the community, Idosariki, and announced to them not to go to their farm anymore, but that they are coming with a special grass. They have a program that has to do with that, but they have a special grass they're going to plant to be feeding the animals. And so the indigenous, the villagers should no longer access that farm. They ran to me and I took the matter up to my successor, the current Commissioner of Public Complaint, which he took over the matter also and also brought it to the attention of the Honorable Minister. I have been here several times talking about this issue to say what we want is so that we don't have unnecessary crisis in our hand. Let's nip this on the board. We didn't see any action till today. And so when we saw the Gadua incident, we say, how we wish the Honorable Minister will have used this energy to save over 3,000 persons, over 15 communities on that land.
Thanks to all my guests and to everyone who spoke to us in 2025 on Dateline Abuja. Let's do this again next year, as the FCT minister promises more infrastructure development. And for us, it is an election year. So quite a lot of involvement in the process is expected of us all, and we must demand accountability from the new area council chairman we're going to elect into office in February of 2026. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Megwa. Have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.